Hello everyone, welcome to the second episode of my new Let's Play free-to-play series. As I said in the first episode, in this series I give my first impressions, and as a small change over the first one I've made, I will rate these games, but only looking at the criteria explained below. No endgame, no game loops and mechanics that become available too late into the game, so if a game becomes cool at the end game, only tough luck, it gets a bad score. So in no particular order: new player experience, UI and in-game shop, story, if the game has one, the environment, if it's open world, small levels, linear, instanced, etc. And not the least, gameplay. In this episode I will play EveOnline. Download and install is pretty quick. I hopped into the game in no time. Game puts me to pick a faction, and I picked Amar as I like the ship design. Then I picked the Bloodline. The character creator is okay. Seemed better when it was first introduced, but it's still serviceable. After I made a bold character dressed like a vampire, I pressed next as I don't really care about this. The next cinematic looks cool, but it's choppy. I bet there is some resource downloading in the background or something, because from install to play it took like 5 minutes.
This cloning facility was attacked before your capsule could be inserted into a ship. I initiated our evacuation sequence before we reached the hangar to avoid certain death. No need to thank me. This baptism by fire is certainly not what Air had planned for your first day in a pod. Rest assured, I'm unable to identify our attackers, but they are not currently targeting our capsule. This gives us time to locate a ship.
Out of the station, I find myself into my pod. Game does a decent job introducing me to basic navigation and placement of the UI elements on my screen, like shields and armor.
Designated emergency evacuation.
We got warped near an anomaly, and some bad guys jump in. My guy tells me we need to protect the civilians as they are unarmed. I'm also unarmed. What the f are you talking about?
We're too far away, Captain. Thankfully,
By the power of magic, some modules pop up on my ship. Made me attack a frigate, a cruiser, and had to ECM a couple of battleships. Those are Macarials. That was my favorite ship back in the day when I played this. So they can't lock the civilian ships. All this time, Bowling was tanking them like a boss. I want his ship.
Anything you fought before.
Captain, we can use electronic countermeasures, ECM, to break the battleship's lock on the civilian transport. Doing so means the battleship will be able to target only one thing: us.
That's it. The final group of civilians has escaped. You've done good, Captain.
We're taking heavy fire, Commander Ferris. Once our ship is destroyed, the pod will soon follow. According to my calculations, our destruction is 99.9.
Then Aura kindly talks me about dying. Doesn't matter and I will live on. Only thing that matters when you die in this game is if you learn something in the process. And it's true.
You fought well today, Captain. This is a warrior's death. Luckily for you,
Those assholes spot me too. Nice one.
Cecilia. For you, death is not an end. It is simply the beginning of a new adventure. As always, I will see you on the other side.
I board my ship.
Let's take a look at the module, Miss Calatrix. A mining laser upgrade.
Aura tells me about personal assets, or let's call it inventory. From this point on, you can already tell this game really is a spreadsheet simulator.
Now, bring the module.
Then she tells me to equip a tier 1 mining laser upgrade, then almost laughs at me for not being able to put the damn module online.
As they serve as the primary
Then she tells me about skills. While I look at the skill catalog, Aura's voice fades out, and the only thing I can see is the fact that almost all skills require an Omega clone, meaning paying a subscription. And the subscription, as far as I know, is not 12 or 40 bucks. No, it's 24. Thanks, Tencent. How the hell is this a free-to-play game? I mean, I don't have an issue paying subscriptions. I just want people to be honest. How is this listed as free-to-play on Steam is beyond me. As we just found out, this game is not free-to-play, but merely a demo. Well, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. I'm kidding, let's move on. Perhaps it gets better. So you can't use capital ships, tier 2 ships, from what I can tell, and most tier 2 equipment, I suspect. But you can still train for basic shit up to battleships. Okay, my bad. It still might be a good experience.
Spectacular about a
Then I undock and warp to a mining site. The guy tells me about mining rocks, refined ores, the fact that I can build stuff with minerals, etc. Then I go start up my career. I pick industrialist, producer, agent. He will teach me a thing or two about mining, industry and research. Trying to start the alpha miner skill plan, I realize I don't have the funds to buy all the skills. I get and start training what I can. Looking back, mining frigate was a mistake.
Well remembered, Captain. I knew you would be quick to learn. Now don't be shy. Begin a conversation with an agent. I'm sure they will love you. And if they don't, they will simply have to tolerate you.
Then I do a couple of career path mission lines. Those are cool and I recommend you do them all, regardless of what you want to do into the game, as they teach you the basics, in Eve's specific clunky way that is. I will not bore you with all those missions as they were mostly fetch quests more or less. They are pretty straightforward. On top of left side of the screen there's this part called agent missions. That's pretty good as you use that for navigation. Mining with an Emperor is pretty bad, what I can tell. The second mission that guy gives me rewards me a venture. Looking into it, so it's specialized in mining. For that I just needed 100 titanium, and the game tells me I can reprocess the 100 Veldspar I got from the previous mission. That gives me 200 titanium. Note to people new to this, in the beginning don't ever refine your mined ore, as it's more profitable to just sell them on the market. Later into the game, when you have good refining skills, it will be okay. After I complete that, my guy gives me a blueprint copy and wants me to build an afterburner. Aura and the game still tell me what to press. So far, it's lit. You can also buy the items that are needed in those missions from the market, but for learning purposes it's good to do them as the game tells you to do, unless it's something it takes a very long time. While waiting for the afterburner to be built, I noticed a game master send me some stuff as I was brand new to the game. That's very nice. Something few games ever do, is this kind of customer support. It is one game that badly needs it though. So it's nice to see someone can answer questions I might have about the game. That nice GM suggested me to start Sisters of Eve epic art of missions that would take me to a tour of the high-sec security space. Might do that at some point. Meanwhile, my shield booster gets done and I can go on with my missions. I realize now I got two ventures. Next mission is about mining even more Veldspar to refine it into 7k tritanium. I slapped what I had on one of the ventures in something that resembles a mining fit and undock. Aura tells me I got enough for my mission, but I want to fill my hold. I'm not doing that as I stop mining at around 10k Veldspar and head back to the station to refine the ore and complete the mission. At this point I realize mining might not be for me. My guide makes me bring a crate of electronic parts 6 jumps away. Then I need to build some small cap boosters to finish my next mission. After long 9 minutes they are done and I move on. I need to deliver 20 of those cap boosters to a station. I guess there's someone that needs them badly, so I better make haste. Next assignment, build me a shuttle. Sure, consider it done, pal. After that's done, he sends me to get a production assistant from an asteroid belt inside a neighboring system. I didn't quite get how I'm supposed to find this guy, but I start mining a new kind of rock I never saw before while searching for a solution to my problem. At some point I noticed an enemy frigate popped in and game tells me to target it. Perhaps my guy is piloting this ship? While still mining, I killed a Corpi follower as I don't like fanatics, and his name implies that, and loot my mission objective. When I get back to the station, he wants me to build another frigate, a Tormentor this time, and gives me another blueprint copy. Materials I needed were pretty expensive, so I figured out it's best to just buy the damn ship and not tell him I did that. And that concludes his 10 missions. I buy all the skills I need to start Alpha Miner training plan. I think it was a bad investment, but it's okay. After I do the exploration missions from the other guy, I realize that's what I'm going to do in Eve. I fit it out with whatever I had and started scanning for data sites. Luckily, I found a good one in the system nearby. I still don't really know what I'm doing though, so I pop one of the structures, not being able to hack into it. My next shard looks grim too, but I managed to open it somehow. Onto my last shard, I'm still thinking of what I could have found in the first one that exploded. The loot overall was not great, but doesn't compare with mining at this point. This activity is somehow more involving, which I like. I keep scanning every one of those signatures in that system because one of my goals was to scan 50 of them. In the process, I find 3 wormholes that all lead to dangerous parts of space. Ooh. I feel ill-equipped to venture into one of those at this point, as I'm still equipped with civilian modules. Now the last signature. It's a combat site. I don't think I will try it, but help, at least I should scan it down, right? I see it's Sancha Lookout. And reading up on it online, I found out this can give good rewards and escalate into something bigger. Quick search on YouTube and I see there's not many ships in there. Should I go or should I stay? The hell with it. What do I have to lose? I know my fit is bad. My capacitor will not last even if I keep only one of those small repairs online for a long time. But I got some hobgoblins that should kill the frigates at least very fast, even with my skills. That light missile battery is doing work every time I get into its range, and my drones have a bad range because of my drone skills. I stay in this pocket to regen my capacitor, then use the gate which leads me to the second room. That doesn't have a missile battery at least, but I see a cruiser. I wonder how long it will take me to pop that. Was thinking I will not aggro the frigates while I pull the cruiser, but everything aggroed me, so I had to let go of the cruiser and focus the small stuff, watching it repair his armor to full and regen his shields. With better skills, I think I could have just popped the cruiser then Sancha Commander and shortened this by at least 10 minutes. If I stayed this long inside the site, I might as well kill all of them. I played this game on and off for years. I'm not a new player, but this was the first time I played the new character in almost 20 years. So it must count for something, right? I did it all. Piracy in low sec, ganking blinked out people in high sec, farming lots of ISK in null sec, was part of small corporations, big corporations, part of huge alliances, and I took part in most important wars one way or another that happened while I was playing. The only thing I didn't do as much was industry, mining, exploration, and research. I mean, I can still talk about those activities, but only at a surface level. This is like the first disclaimer for what I'm about to say. In the second and final disclaimer, I know devs need to put food on the table, and I'm all for it, especially if they make good games. Knowing how pay to win is this game, from my past experience with it, yeah, you can buy power with real money. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You can buy skill points with money, and you can buy whatever you want with ISK. So we let that sink in. I don't even want to go deeper into that because it's beyond the scope of this video. From what I can see, since CCP was bought by Tencent, they use all kinds of tricks in the book to milk money out of people, and it's a shame. And as far as I know, new content is sparse. Usually MMOs add entire continents in one expansion. Native. In this, the most you get is a few ships and one or two activities. But I derailed way too much. I don't want to transform this into a review. So, first impressions as a new player, huh? If you are a patient guy, you might get intrigued by all this and want to explore more of it. And maybe start a subscription once you realize you get locked out of pretty much most of the cool stuff. I mean, you can do some PvP, faction warfare, you can do what I just did, missions and exploration. This last one is very lucrative and can be done as an alpha clone. This is the only way I know if you could make enough ISK to buy those 350 plex you need for a month of Omega clone. I might be wrong, as I don't follow Eve that much, so I don't know what's new, what's meta, and so on. I stopped playing right there, but I could just make a better fit and start going for exploration in 0-0. Those offer you very good rewards with minimal risk. You can still die to a gate camp or a bubble, sure. You could just travel with wormholes, reducing the risk of being killed in the first 0-0 system you jump into. But I don't think a new player can do all that. Not because it's impossible, but because you don't have the game knowledge to do it the first day, no matter how many YouTube videos you watch. This is why I didn't went that route, and I tried to mimic the things a new player will do in this game. The progression is pretty slow, slower than in most games you played. The jump from a basic frigate, for example, fitted with tier 1 junk to a tier 2 interceptor or assault frigate and tier 2 modules and rigs is pretty huge. Again, this is not a negative for the patient people because there is stuff to do in between those milestones. I just gave that example so new players know if they are cut for this game or not. This is not a free-to-play game by any stretch of the imagination. When 90 to 95% of your content is locked behind a subscription, that is. As a monthly paying user, I rate it 7 out of 10, but only because of the emergent gameplay it offers, the depth of some of the gameplay systems and the free economy. The game engine is old and it shows, and the content they add is very limited. That's one of the reasons I don't come back to it. As a free-to-play player, I rate this game 4 out of 10. Yeah, you can make money exploring to get 1.6 billion ISK you need to buy Omega for a month, but I don't think most people are able or willing to do that. Because it turns to work and nobody likes working into an MMO. Blueprint copy sells for quite a bit. I see the minimum is 120 million. No idea if they sell though. This is pretty much it. See ya.